So since 1994, I think we all know that, okay, we're going to be celebrating 30 years of democracy, right? And from 1994 until 2007, I think that's when employment was still high. And then from 2008 until 2022, since our current president came into charge, the unemployment rate started increasing highly. And as Build One South Africa, our plan is to put a job in each and every home. And the only way we can do that is capitalizing on townships. People in townships spend more than 70 rand to go to town, and then from there on, it's like 70 rand each and every day to go to work, to buy food, to do whatever. But if we had like factories and so on in townships, I feel like the unemployment rate would decrease. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. In South Africa, we have a program since 1994 until today. We got freedom physically, but mentally we are still colonized. In South Africa, we will find young people saying trading is a scam because they don't understand what is trading. In South Africa, you will find young people staying at home looking for the jobs when they have soil in their home. They are not aware how to use it. They allow people to come and control them with their own things. Yeah? I think our government have to put more investment in young people, allow young people to have internships, fund those internships, so that they can utilize the training, hand training works like mechanics, agricultural things, so that our country will terminate this thing of unemployment. Because we have resoil here in South Africa, and we have raw materials here in South Africa like gold, titanium, copper, diamonds. So if our government can fund all those fields, I think we can terminate this thing of unemployment in South Africa. Thank you.
Which are the governments then is not purposefully recognizing our means as students. So the problem also lies to universities then rolling out qualification that don't prepare anyone for employment.
What are you doing?
So you find qualification which are not important and which doesn't have skills. So the matter of youth unemployment rate is about 60% to 70% as unemployment rate. And also you find the graduates who are employed, but they are not working in the field that they studied for, which is called graduates underemployment. And this, it really affects our economic growth and development as young leaders and as young students. So this matter should be combated by initiating programs that's going to lift the student to skills development, and also having the education system that is not Eurocentric, that is Afrocentric. Because mostly we having the system that we are in is very Eurocentric, more than Afrocentric. But thank you.
Dated 21 January, the current president of this South Africa signed an agreement of which I believe is the African Continental Trade Free agreement. So that agreement, it speaks about the industrialization of African so that you can be able to trade with our African countries. I believe in that agreement, plus or minus 12 countries have joined the forces so that we can be able to manufacture our own goods here in South Africa. Because currently speaking, we can't even make cars here in South Africa because the current governing party, they signed an agreement with USA, with Europeans, of which ourselves were not there. So what we're saying now, we're saying, let's terminate all these trade agreements that were there before so that we can have a productive African way whereby people are going to be able to manufacture their own goods. For instance, in South Africa, toothpicks are being imported from other countries who are not able to manufacture even a toothpick. So if the government was going to be able to come to the youth and say, we're here to find you, can we manufacture our own things? Because now they've signed an agreement with Germany to say, we're going to sell you cars. Ours is just to buy. Why can't you make our own cars? Because we've got all the necessary resources. We've got the mines. So what we're saying, let the state be the custodians of the mines. Let the states be... Yes. Let's have what the comrades. Let's have the state be the custodians of these mines so that we can be able to create more jobs, because currently youth unemployment rate is strictly high, and we can't say now after 30 years of democracy we're still expecting the ANC to rescue us. That's a fairy tale. It's not going to happen.
High morale.
Every leader, even when you study the likes of Nelson Mandela or the presidents, in despite of their certain character things, so you observe something, every leader is empowered by a vision. It's very important to understand that we live in a world that is dynamically changing. There's something called artificial intelligence, and if our educational system does not amend to cater for that change, you'll find people who are educated in things that will be irrelevant to the future. Because you carry a degree, we clap for you, as a result you find that thing is irrelevant. As an intellectual, it's very important that you, as a leader in fact, it's very important that you keep yourself updated, because as a leader you must be multi-open, you must not be narrow-minded, isn't it? So that you are able, because any leader that does not update themselves, they'll be outgrown by their followers. So you find the leading government that is, when you give someone employment or temporary employment without giving them a skill to survive the dynamic things, you are making that person a slave of the job. And if you can understand something again, if you look at the West, you find people who are 90 who are becoming millionaires through coding, through understanding the upcoming change. Because even if you study finances, even in Forex, people make money through change. So change as a result can be negative if you are ignorant. You can be an intellectual and be an ignorant. So as a result, it is a responsibility for us as the upcoming leaders to take and educate our people. Things like coding, things like learning AI must become mandatory, because we are learning subjects which machines can do, and they can do 10 times. That's a crisis, because we can promise you it should do much.
Thank you very much, leaders. When it comes to this thing of unemployment, I think your heads are looking at a bit. But then I would like to start first to congratulate Panyaza Lusufi for giving 500,000. As Sasko was saying, what Panyaza Lusufi continue doing a great job. We are very happy. Families of young people who are here right now with us, they are having something to eat. They are having money to come to school with. They are having actually a blanket. Now it's coming to winter. Thank you very much, Panyaza Lusufi. Comrades, to also just to advise our university. We are having a lot of unemployed graduates here in our university, and we are having opportunities. Firstly, I'm going to start there at past terminal. We have people who do not even have matric. They are busy, they are telling students, or when you don't have a student card, you can't lie. Not wanting to even understand what's wrong. Why does the student does not have the student card? So we need to actually put our comrades there. This is the revolution that the university must know that it is coming. We are going to put graduates there, or comrades who are registered in the high institution of learning here in this institution, comrades. They must work there as bus marshals. Comrades, we wouldn't want to see actually in all these cafeterias to find a person who does not have a diploma of TT. Why do you have to cook? If it's 4.5, it's fine. Work for that 4.5 while you're still looking for that 80,000. We're going to remove everyone. Actually, we're not going to remove. These people, they must be there. We're going to increase. There are cafeterias which are closed. We're going to open them. These cafeterias in this campus of ours. We have graduates of hospitality that are going to work there. Comrades, I've seen construction down there next to bus terminal. Engineering students must be given an opportunity to apply and work in that construction. That space we're living that side, it can also build residences there. And then those residences can be planted by our own students, they get jobs. Manta!
Management from our student chapter in TUT Victoria campus. My comment was that it's somewhat of a bit of disappointment in the sense that in addressing the issue of unemployment, only 2 of the student structures that are here addressed, one also touched on it, so 2.5, addressed the issue of the education system. Given the fact that we keep on celebrating that we produce graduates left, right and center, but are those graduates speaking to the economic need of this country? You find that when you want to mention a cause, but there are particular leaders here who mentioned a number of courses, that these courses do not speak to the need. The more graduates are going to produce as a nation that do not speak to the need of the employment need in this country, we are doing nothing. So it's quite alarming that student structures are not actually leading towards the fact that the education system itself is flawed, but only 2, which was the MK party and the student party. I actually commend those 2. And we also in terms of the issue of unemployment, also look at the problem this time here. The issue of empowering small to medium businesses in this country is very important in the sense that we can't always expect government to be the ones to create jobs, but what government can do is empower these small to medium these SMEs basically to be able to then cater for all these unemployed graduates that we have. So the more SMEs that will be empowered by government, the more employment opportunities will be created. So if we can lean towards the education system and the empowering of small businesses that are predominantly in our neighborhoods, Nasama Lukshin, this thing can actually be a building method.